Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Player of the Week pack on eFootball. There's also a Champions League Player of the Week pack. I'll be reviewing that in a separate video in a few hours' time. For this one, as always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, just click in the description, there'll be a link to take you straight to him. So we've got one 4-star, we'll start with him, and that is Carlos Romero. So we've got an attacking fullback. He doesn't have a face scan, he's quite young though, so he might get one at some point. And he's a 4-star. For a 4-star, he's decent, but he is a 4-star. He's not brilliant overall. Got the pace, got the stamina. He's okay on the ball, apart from that tight possession. It's a bit low. The low pass is dodgy, but he's got lofted 82, and he does have pinpoint crossing. So the crossing's decent, but yeah, a mix of good attributes and a few dodgy ones. He's not brilliant defensively. That defensive awareness and the engagement bit on the low side, so yeah, he's not a brilliant one overall. He's got some qualities though. You could certainly get some use out of him. Maybe worth keeping hold of for the Spanish League Challenge. What they changed, it's the first time we've had a feature version of him. From his GP card, we got a boost to his acceleration, his physicals. On the ball, he's been boosted a bit. Attacking awareness and finishing, I'm guessing he scored. Lofted passes up a bit as well. What if we had skill-wise then? So all he's got in his GP card is soul control. Everything else is new. First time shot, pinpoint crossing, man-mark interception, error superiority, fighting spirit. So for an attacking fullback, good selection of skills there defensively, and then crossing going forward. Obviously first time shot. I'm not sure that's going to come in handy too often, but pinpoint crossing certainly with 82 for lofted pass. So yeah, he's got some qualities, this guy. Athletically, he's decent enough. You know, I'd like a bit more on the balance. Apart from that, down the right column, he's looking all right. Down the left, tight possession, low pass are a bit dodgy. Apart from that, decent. Just defensively not brilliant. So yeah, if you like your fullback three really strong defensively, you're not going to like this guy. If you like an attacking fullback, he's not brilliant. Some of these attributes are on the low side, but the skill set's pretty good, and he does have some decent ones. So it's not a great card, but maybe at least for the Spanish League Challenge, it might be worth keeping hold of. He's not terrible. Just obviously he is a 4-star, whatever the star ratings even mean, because obviously you have no real matchmaking filters or anything like that. But yeah. Not a brilliant fullback, but if you like an attacking fullback, certainly for the Spanish League Challenge, he could do a job for you. He's just not brilliant on the whole, really. And on to the 5 stars, we got Biereth. Probably said that wrong. From Monaco, striker from Denmark. So again, first time I've had a feature version of this guy. He's got unwavering form. Doesn't have a face scan again though. He's quite young. I imagine we'll get one at some point. So yeah, no other versions of him to compare him to except his GP card, and from his GP card they boosted his kicking power, his jumping, on the ball he's a bit better, passing as well. He's lost a bit of balance. That often happens with Player of the Week strikers for whatever reason, but yeah, that's about it really. And then skill wise, they've had a bunch of skills added, so they've thrown in long range curler and long range shooting, acrobatic finishing, one touch pass, and outside curler as well. He's already a super sub. He's already got first time shot. So yeah, good selection of skills there. Nothing aerial apart from acrobatic finishing. So he's not got heading or aerial superiority, even though he's quite tall and his jumping and physical aren't too bad. And heading likewise. So a bit of a shame he's not got at least heading, but certainly with the ball at his feet, he's got a bunch of shooting skills there, and he's a super sub. So yeah, is he any good? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't get a French League Challenge, so you're going to be looking at this card as one for divisions and unlimited challenges and so on. So I'm not sure he's going to make the grade for most people. Certainly if you're new to the game, you need striker options. He's not a bad one. As a goal poacher, I'd like a bit more pace, but he's not slow. He's got reasonable pace, reasonable kicking power. He's decent on the ball for a poacher, to be fair to him. Awareness and finishing, again, I'd like to be high. They're not terrible, but neither particularly great. So yeah, it's a pretty mid card really. You know, there's a lot of attributes here that are kind of all right, just nothing particularly amazing. So could he do a job for you if you really need a striker option? Yes, but I think for most people, certainly if you've been playing the game for anything more than a few weeks, you're likely to have better striker options. So it's not a terrible card, but it's not one that's particularly great in any way, really. This, on the other hand, is a striker who is great in at least one particular way, and we know what that is. It's the fact that he's gigantic. He got Onuachu, 201 centimeters, and they've actually boosted his jumping a bit. This is a nicely conversion of Onuachu. Obviously, he's a very particular type of striker. If you don't like big physical target men up front, he's not going to be your cup of tea. But if you like a big striker like that, you're going to be putting crosses into the box. This could be a really nice one to pick up. We've had a couple of previous versions of Onuachu. One was in a Turkish League pack. I got that one. It's not as good as this one, and he doesn't come with aerial superiority, which this one does. He's not always had that in the past, but he's got that on his GP card now, it seems. They've not added that on this card, so yeah, that's a plus compared to previous versions of him. So yeah, it's an upgrade on the Turkish League Pack one, albeit you can't train this one. There was also a Showtime one, and that was a kind of Turkish League Player of the Season pack when he was at Trabzonspor last season. That one, when it's fully boosted, is better than this one, unsurprisingly, but that boost is based on having a full squad of Turkish League players if you want to get the maximum boost on him. So I think for most people on that basis, you know, you're not likely to be getting that full boost on that card. And if it's not getting the full boost in a Turkish League squad, this one's pretty comparable, to be honest. When that card's not fully boosted, not a lot of difference. So this is a pretty nicer conversion of Onuachu. Like I said, they have boosted his jumping, they've boosted his stamina a bit as well. They always seem to do that on strikers and centre-backs. It's a bit better on the ball than he normally is. Still not brilliant, but you kind of expect that on a gigantic target man. His passing's been boosted a little bit as well. Still not brilliant, but you're at least hitting the 70 mark with your maximum game plan boost on low pass. And they've thrown in a one-touch pass. They've also given him a heel trick, an outside curler, and fighting spirit. So it's going to make him a little bit more capable on the ball when you feed the ball into him. Because when you feed the ball into a guy like this, especially on the ground, as tall as he is, not being great on the ball, horrible balance, it can be quite hard to hold onto the ball and to kind of, you know, release a pass, find a teammate. But boosting him a bit on the ball and with his passing, heel trick, outside curler, one-touch pass, that's going to help in a target man. He's already got first-time shot, and then he's also got heading, acrobatic finishing, aerial superiority. So a guy as big as he is, boosting his jumping a bit. Yes, his jumping still sucks, but he's gigantic. He's got a 92 physical contact. His heading's going over 90 with the game plan boost. He's got aerial superiority. This guy's going to be pretty effective from crosses. So yeah, I think most of us have been playing the game for a while now. You know what Onuachu is all about, and to have a good version of him, if that's the type of striker that suits you. Obviously, the target man playing style is not for everyone. I don't like it. I would love a fox in the box version of Onuachu. That would just be filthy. But yeah, target man, he's not going to move around much. He's just going to kind of stand around up top and just wait for you to feed the ball to him with crosses and long balls, or when to feet. If that playing style works for you, and if you like putting crosses into the box, this could be a really good card to pick up. For me, like I say, I'm not a big fan of the target man playing style, but just with the strengths he's got, the fact it's a good Onuachu card, it would be a fun one to have. I think a lot of people would be quite pleased to pick him up. But like I say, he's a very particular type of striker. If you like his strikers to be quicker, better on the ball, you know, goal poachers and so on, he's probably not going to be one for you. But as a version of Onuachu, you know, the awareness hitting 90 with the game plan boost, finishing not amazing but decent, boosting him a bit on the ball, boosting a bit with his jumping. Some nice skills thrown in there, yeah. And of course, he's got his face scan. If he suits you, if you like Onuachu, he could be a really, really good one to pick up. But if he doesn't quite suit you, and he's not the kind of striker you like, then you're not going to like him at all. But I think a lot of people will be really pleased to get this guy. It could be a lot of fun. And next we have Myles Lewis-Skelly. So normally an orchestrated DMF, just like with his Champions League Player of the Week card, they've changed him to a left back. But with his Champions League Player of the Week card, they made him a fullback finisher. This time he's an attacking fullback. You might prefer that, you might not. It just depends on your personal preference. They've also made him semi-proficient at left midfield, which is completely useless on these cards. Thanks for that. Weak foot accuracy is up one as well. That's nice. If you compare it to the Champions League Player of the Week card, before we activate the boost, because this is our first booster of this selection, before the boost gets activated, it's very similar to the Champions League one. Very, very similar. But if you activate the boost, it's that kind of athleticism or something. What is it? Agility, there you go. Yeah, it's your pace, balance and stamina in those areas. Certainly it gets boosted and it makes it a better card than Champions League one. Certainly makes him more usable as a left back, because as a left back, with that pace being around the same as the Champions League one, in my opinion, not quick enough for a left back. You need quite a bit more pace on a left back, but with the boost, still too low for me. I think certainly the speed, you'd like a few more points on there, but when you do get that boost, at least it becomes more usable as a left back if you wanted to use him in that position. So yeah, no other versions of him to compare him to. That's the only other feature one we've had. So looking at the GP card, obviously I've changed his position to a left back, so hard to really compare him to his GP card in terms of the auto allocation. But if you try to train the GP card to make it as good as this one, you just can't really match it. This, you know, it's not as good, obviously, but it's quite a difference really. Left back, this is comfortably better, but as a defensive midfielder, you can at least make his GP card better defensively. Certainly when you go to auto allocation as a defensive midfielder, his defensive attributes are higher, but everywhere else he's miles off. So this is a really nice boost on the whole from his GP card. Obviously you've got an extra position there. And yeah, he's a tidy one. It's just what position you want to use him in. We'll just have a quick look at his skills first, actually, before we look at his position. So his GB card looks like the only skill in his GB card is through passing, as far as I can see. So everything else new. So you got double touch, top turn, long range curler. Not sure how often you're going to use that, but one touch passing, through passing, and then man marking, interception, fighting spirit. So as a left back attacking fullback, you'd like pinpoint crossing there really. And lofted pass 79, it's not too bad to be fair, but yeah, you'd like pinpoint crossing really. But like I say, it comes down to position. But skill-wise, as a centre mid or defensive mid, I think you've got most of the important ones there. One touch and through, certainly, and then defensively, man marking and interception. Fighting spirit's a good one to have. Good stamina though, certainly on A form. Even without A form, your maximum game plan boost will hit will get your stamina up to 90. But yeah, as a left back without the A form boost, not quick enough for me. If you get the A form boost, is he quick enough? Maybe. You could certainly get away with him, I think, as a left back, because everywhere else he's looking pretty good, pretty strong. So could be usable as a left back for some people, but I think for me, like with the Champions League card, defensive mid or centre mid, I think that's where you're going to get the value out of this guy. I think he looks like a really solid option there. The passing's not amazing, but you're at least at that 85 mark on low pass, so you're going to get a +3 with your maximum boost. That'll go to 88 in the game plan boost. On the ball, he's all right, not brilliant, but all right. Attacking awareness is okay. Defensively, all 80 plus. Maybe not brilliant defensively, but strong enough. And he does have interception and man marking there. Pace for a midfielder, decent enough, even without A form. The stamina's good enough. I think just everywhere really is good enough. It's not amazing anywhere, but I think certainly as a defensive mid or a centre mid, yes, you could find him usable as a left back, especially on A form. But even without the boost, I think as a defensive mid or a centre mid, like I say, I said much the same thing with his Champions League card, which was almost identical before the A form boost, obviously. But yeah, I think as a centre mid or defensive mid, it could be a very useful card as a tidy one. So yeah, so obviously Arsenal fans, if you don't have the Champions League one, or even if you do, obviously the booster makes a difference. Could be a really nice one for Arsenal fans to pick up. But for everyone else, for that English League Challenge, if you get the English League Challenge, could be a useful one, because you could do a job at left back. Like I say, I think you certainly need the A form boost for the pace. But as a defensive mid or centre mid, could be a tidy one. Not amazing, but could be a useful one. So yeah, for a lot of people, could be a card you get a bit of value out of, especially as a midfielder. And before I forget, no face scan, but obviously plays for Arsenal, partner club. He's going to get a face scan very soon. I imagine maybe with the update next week, we'll see. But yeah, could be a useful card for quite a few people, that. And this is our first featured version of Kenneth Taylor. He has a face scan, Ajax player, whole player centre mid. That's the usual playing style and position for this guy. So yeah, first version we had of him, so nothing to really compare him to except his GP card. From his GP card, they've boosted his acceleration, his physicals, balance is up a bit. They often put that down on attacking players. Attack awareness and finishing, so presumably he scored a goal. Set pieces are up as well. Right, skill-wise, let's have a look at his skills. So we have lost weighted pass and low lofted pass. For a centre mid, that's a bit of a shame. We've lost penalty specialist as well. We can live with that. What have we gained? We've gained long range shooting, first time shot. So yeah, he obviously scored a goal, didn't he? And interception. Okay, interesting. So what have we got then? One touch and through, important ones for a midfielder. Outside colours, nice. Interception and fighting spirit. So okay, as a kind of box to box centre mid, we've got a pretty good set. Whole player's kind of obviously more attacking than the box to box. So yeah, long range shooting and first time shot. Got a pretty good section of skills then. I think centre mid whole player, that he's got the skills that kind of fit that playing style and position well. Defensive mid, I mean, defensively he's pretty weak. Yeah, he's got interception, but I'm not like, there's no way you want this guy kind of play this guy as a DMF. He's not strong defensively, he's not strong physically. He's only really got one defensive skill there. I think this guy is clearly just going to be a centre midfielder with the whole player playing style. Which will mean he's going to be making a lot of attacking runs into spaces. Shame you can't use him as an attacking midfielder, but yeah, it is what it is. So if you use centre midfielders with the whole player playing style, is he any good for you? He's all right. I think it's just another one of these cards where, yeah, he's decent in quite a few areas, but I can't really say much more than decent. Decent on the ball, decent passing, decent pace, good stamina. There's nothing really great here, to be honest. Yeah, the skill searching is good, but just another one of these cards. I seem to be saying this about quite a lot of cards in Player of the Week recently. There's nothing that bad about it, but there's nothing that good about him either. You know, the awareness and the finishing for a whole player. Yes, only a centre mid, not an attacking mid, but I'd like a bit more attacking awareness, especially finishing. I'd like a bit more as well. He does have long range shooting, the first time shot. The passing's alright, but it's not amazing. On the ball, he's alright, but not amazing. There's nothing really amazing about him, to be honest. So yeah, if the playing style suits you on a centre midfielder, if that fits in with your kind of formation and stuff, he could be decent. He could do a job. He's certainly got the skills, and he's not terrible anywhere. He's just not amazing anywhere. And again, you know, Eredivisie, we don't get a league chance for that. So is he going to get in your squad for divisions? I think it's unlikely unless you just started playing the game. So yeah, it's not a terrible card, but I can't really say much great about it because there's nothing really that stands out and nothing about this card that makes me think that I would really benefit from putting him in my squad, really. I think most people probably feel the same way, but if you're new to the game, he could be a decent option as an attacking centre midfielder. But yeah, beyond that, I don't think many people would be getting a great deal of value out of him. And now we have the first of two players from the Milan derby. So we've got de Vrij. Destroyer is normally a build-up. I think build-up is his usual playing style. I'm just going to double check that on eFootball Hub. Make sure I've not got that wrong. He is normally a build-up, yes. So they're changing from build-up to a destroyer. For me, that's not good news. I prefer build-up, but you might be okay with that. It's all personal preference. It looks like a pretty good version of him. So we've had quite a few versions of de Vrij by now. Or they put his weaker foot accuracy up by 1, before I forget that. Interesting. So yeah, we've had loads of versions of de Vrij. We had a bunch of Player of the Week ones. They're all fairly similar, to be honest, but they kind of shuffle the stats around. And what they do these days with centre-backs and Player of the Week, they obviously boost the kind of right and left columns mainly, not so much the centre, and that's the kind of deal that you've got here. Obviously, the stats are shuffled around a little bit compared to previous Player of the Week versions, but on the whole, similar level. Some of those previous ones are build-up, obviously, though, because that's his normal playing style. We did have a legend version of him in an Inter Milan pack once. That's obviously the best version we've had of de Vrij. That was a build-up version as well. In terms of the trainables, though, there's not many trainable versions, actually. Around about the same level, to be honest. They tend to be, when you auto allocate them, they tend to be kind of better defensively and not so much pace. Like I say, that's what they tend to do with these Player of the Week cards. So yeah, if you don't really care about the pace, you just want your centre backs to be, you know, beasts defensively and physically, then this might not be the best version of de Vrij for you. But on the whole, it's a good version of him. Compared to his GP card, he's been nerfed a little bit defensively. Like I say, they do tend to do this kind of thing with these Player of the Week centre backs. But yeah, he's lost a bit defensively, but gained some speed, gained some stamina. His lofted pass is up. He's got a bit on his physicals as well. So yeah, looking like a solid centre back. It's a shame his physical contact isn't just one higher, so you could get to the 90 mark with your maximum game plan boost. But it is what it is. He's not weak physically, just could be a bit stronger. Certainly quicker than most versions of de Vrij. That speed hitting 80, you don't often find that with the de Vrij card. I'm not sure you've ever found that, except maybe the legend one. But yeah, on the whole, looking pretty solid. It's certainly with the Destroyer playing style. Destroyers don't tend to be great on the ball, and he's not brilliant in possession in terms of the on-the-ball attributes there, but certainly the passing is decent for a Destroyer centre-back. And what have we got skill-wise? So they've thrown in first-time shot, of course, and low lofted pass. So they boosted his lofted pass. I'm giving him low lofted pass. That's nice, I guess. Heading and aerial, and then we've got interception, man marking, blocker, acrobatic clearance, sliding tackle, flank spirit. Yeah, so you got just about the complete set of skills defensively for a centre back. Low lofted pass with a boost to his lofted pass attribute is nice as a bonus. So yeah, the playing style might not suit you, but outside of that, yes, they've nerfed him a bit defensively, but all these defenses are still going to hit the 90 mark with your maximum game plan boost. And he's got more pace than he usually does. He's had a bit of a boost on his physical, so yeah, there's a lot to be said for this card. Unwavering form, a bit more 2-foot than he normally is. So yeah, on the whole, it's not an elite level centre back. I would like the physical contact and the jumping to be getting to the 90 mark with the maximum game plan boost. That's around about the mark for me. Heading likewise is a bit on the low side. So yeah, in some ways, not quite on the level of, you know, the best centre backs that most of us tend to have in our squads these days. But there's plenty to be said for this card. He's defensively very strong still. The passing's looking pretty nice. A bit more pace than he normally does and waving form. So plenty to be said for this card. Obviously got a phrase going. He's had that for years. So yeah, one or two ways in which it might not be great for you, but certainly for the Italian League Challenge could be one well worth keeping a hold of if you don't have too many good centre backs from the Italian League. And on the whole, plenty of qualities of this card. So not everyone's gonna be too excited about it, but it's certainly a very good solid centre back. This. And now we have Anthony Elanga from Nottingham Forest. Justice for Chris Wood. Where's our Chris Wood card? Come on, Konami. But yeah, to be fair, Elanga got a hat-trick of assists. I think he's a pretty worthy inclusion. Normally a prolific winger. They've made him a creative playmaker and an SS. Interesting. Normally a winger with the prolific winger playing style. And it's our second booster from this pack as well. Interesting. So, Oh, and they made him semi-proficient at attacking midfield. Fantastic. Except you can't position train these cards, so maybe not fantastic after all. We've had one previous version of Elanga. That was in some kind of legend box, national attackers or something. With that one, when you auto-allocate it, it's got more pace, a little bit more in his dribbling as well, but way less on his passing and his set pieces as well. And it is a trainable card, obviously. It's not a million miles off, similar level overall, but this one I think is a bit better, all things considered. Compared to his GP card, though, we've lost a couple of points of speed, and they've taken, I think, about 7 or 8 points off his acceleration, which is a bit harsh, but he's still got 88 there, and it's still going past the 90 mark with the maximum game plan boost. And when you look where they're boosting him a little bit on the ball, boosting him a bit with his physicals, with his finishing as well, but his kicking power's had a really nice boost, set pieces as well, and his passing has had a really nice boost. Really important that. So he's got some real end product, this guy, and he's got a booster. When you activate that booster, boom, really nice passing. So low and lofted pass, I guess that's the passing booster, is it? Yeah, passing. So low and lofted pass get boosted, a bit more curl as well, kicking power. So this is an interesting looking version of Elanga. He's got the pace, he's pretty good on the ball. He's not amazing on the ball. I think people who like a kind of wide forward, a real winger to kind of dribble at defenders, he's probably not going to be quite as good in the ball as you'd like him to be, but he's got good attacking awareness, the finishing's alright, that passing's really nice. So it might just depend on how you plan to use this guy, but he's certainly got a lot of qualities. Let's have a look at his skills, what they've done with his skills. They're not taking anything away, I don't think. They've just given us double touch. The Jibbers will be pleased with that. One touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, and fighting spirit. They're giving fighting spirit to a lot of attacking players in Player of the Week these days. I'm not sure why. I mean, it does help, but yeah, no complaints. But yeah, shooting skills, passing skills. It's got crossing as well. Soul control is a nice one to have. Outside curler helps as well. So we've got the end product with this guy, the passing and the crossing. That lofted pass, bit of curl, bit of kicking power as well. He can cross it as well as passing it. So this is a really versatile card. It's a pretty good card, and it's a versatile one. You can play him on the right, you can get crosses in. He's a right footer. Got the pace, he's decent on the ball, he can certainly cross it. You can play him on the left, he can come inside. He's got long range curler as well as the passing, so he can come inside from the left flank, he can pass and shoot. And you can also play him through the middle as an SS with the passing, decent on the ball, pace, and he can shoot a bit as well. This is a versatile card, I think, in terms of your kind of first choice players in any of these positions. I think most people have probably got better options in every position, but as an option to kind of come into your team when he's on form or to bring him off the bench, it could be a handy card, this. And as a centre forward, for me, no, the awareness is a bit too low. Certainly the finishing is. So that's one position he can't play, but I think as an SS behind the attack, or wide of the attack, either as an SS or as a wide forward, and as a wide midfielder as well. That playing style will be active in every position except for centre forward, by the way. Might not be everyone's cup of tea. I don't personally like a playmaker as a winger. It's not a disaster, but I prefer a whole player running flank, for example. But yeah, creative playmaker in all these positions except centre forward, for me, I think pretty handy. He's got pace, he's decent on the ball, he's got end product. And yeah, I think it's a pretty handy card to have. A versatile one for the English League challenge, certainly if you get this guy, I think it could be a really useful one to keep order for that challenge. He has a face scan as well, from his Man U days, obviously. But yeah, this is a tidy looking card. Like I said, I don't think it's an amazing card that's going to get straight into anyone's team in any of these positions. Certainly if you've been playing the game for quite a while now, you'll have better options, I think. But he is an option. I think he could certainly do a decent job for a lot of people in a lot of these positions. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good card in the whole. I think it's one that could give quite a few people some good value. And next we have Kolo Muani. Got a couple of goals for Juventus, just signed for them, obviously from PSG. He has a face scan. He's a goal poacher this time. Normally a deep lying forward. That's a big difference in his playing style. For me, it's a big upgrade. Just depends on your personal preference, of course. We've had a previous Player of the Week card that was, I think, a goal poacher as well from when he was at PSG. Had way less balance than this card, but and a bit less kicking power as well. But other than that, I think it's actually a slightly better card than this one. I think that previous Player of the Week card of Kolo Muani is better. So if you've got that one already, I personally would say it's a better card. But this is a decent one. We've had a bunch of trainable versions of Kolo Muani, but they're all deep lying forward. Keep that in mind. So all the trainable versions, no matter what the numbers say, very different playing style. Deep lying forward is going to drop deep, get involved in the build up. They're not going to be as quick or aggressive with their attacking movement. Goal poacher, which is what the playing style we've got in this card, is constantly going to look to get in behind the defense. Very, very different. So yeah, previous trainables, had a few of them. A couple of them are slightly higher rate than this one. This one's not too far off though. It's a decent version in terms of the numbers. Just like I say, just keep in mind that playing style, because that makes a big difference in all those previous trainable versions. Are deep line forwards like his GP card. What they changed compared to his GP card on auto allocation. They boosted his low pass a bit. Nice. Bit better on the ball. The kind of areas you want to boost him if he was still a deep line forward, but he's not. But I'm not complaining, because it still makes a difference as a poacher. Finishing's been boosted a bit. Still not great though, 84. Kicking power's up a bit. Physical contact's up a bit. Stamina's up a bit. So yeah, looking like a decent boost, but we have lost 1 point off his attacking awareness. We've lost a point off his acceleration, and we've lost 4 off his balance. So like I mentioned earlier, they do take points away from balance on strikers quite often in Player of the Week. It's very annoying that they do that, because it's a significant attribute. But like I say, on the whole, they have given him a nice boost in a lot of areas. It's a shame he's not at least 1 higher on awareness, because that would have got you to a 90 with your maximum game plan boost, but you'll at least get him to 89. Finishing, like I say, is a bit on the low side. So yeah, like I was saying with Biereth, to be honest, from Monaco, you got a card here as a goal poacher centre forward. And there's a lot to be said from him. There's a lot of decent attributes. Certainly he's pretty nice on the ball for a goal poacher, but he's just not amazing in any area. You know, you want the awareness and finishing to be getting out towards the kind of, you know, around about the 90 mark for me. Both of them falling a little bit short. Pace, again, you know, on a goal poacher, he's not slow. He's got a bit of pace, but he's just not electric. Bit of physical strength about him. Bit of jumping as well. Does he have heading? He does have heading at least. Accurate finishing. No aerial superiority though. What have they done with the skills? We've lost scissors, feint, and gamesmanship. I think we can live without those. And they've given him soul control. Nice. Long range curler. So that's a nice combination actually, because soul control does help with getting long range curlers away. Fighting spirit again. They keep putting fighting spirit and attacking players in these packs. He's got one touch pass and through passing, and he's got first time shot. So you got a nice selection of skills actually on a centre forward. Like I was saying when I was looking at the way they boosted him from his GP card, they've made this guy, you know, they've given him a pretty nice profile as a deep line forward, to be honest. Maybe the passing's a bit low for that playing style, but he is a goal poacher now, so it's kind of a bonus to have him as good on the ball as he is for a goal poacher. But certainly the passing for a goal poacher, pretty nice. On the ball, pretty decent. There is plenty to be said for this card. He's going to be, you know, decent in the air, not amazing. Decent pace, decent in a lot of areas, just not really that amazing. So I think on the whole, it is a fairly good card. And I've used this guy in the past. I've had a deep line forward version of him for quite a while now. It's not a playing style I like, but he just seems to kind of work for me. I've played him when I've used the France squad a few times in the national team challenge. I quite enjoyed having Kolo and Muani just behind Thuram, both as a centre forward. Thuram just behind him as a deep line forward, and Kolo and Muani just behind Thuram as a deep line forward, with Thuram as the poacher. Kind of works for me. They both feel pretty nice, quite good movement. He's been pretty effective for me, and this isn't the best version of Kolo and Muani, but as a goal poacher with the attributes he's got, maybe not amazing, but I think he's a decent one. I think quite a few people will get a bit of joy with this guy. Again, Italian League challenge. What striker options have you got from the Italian League? It might well be worth keeping hold of him for that if you get him. But yeah, another card where it's not an amazing one, but I do think with the strengths he's got, the way they boosted him, a pretty good selection of skills, and with that goal poacher playing style, you might not be an elite level striker, but I think quite a few people, if you get this guy, you might find he's pretty decent. So based on my experience with him and the way they boosted this card, if I get him, I'll be quite interested to try him out, see how good he is. And like I say, I think quite a few people, if you do get him and if you do try him out, you might quite like him as well. So not an elite level card, not a top level striker. Few areas where I'd like the attributes to be a bit higher, but it could still be a decent one for quite a few people, I think this. And our second card from the Milan derby is Reijnders, AC Milan. It wouldn't have been my choice. I thought Pavlovic deserved to be on Tomori, actually. I thought Tomori had a really good game. But yeah, we've got Reijnders. Box-to-box defensive midfielder. He's normally a centre midfielder, I think. I'm just checking out on eFootball Hub in the background. But yeah, box-to-box, that is his usual playing style. Yeah, he's normally a centre midfielder, so changes position, which makes absolutely no difference whatsoever, because he can still play DMF and CMF equally. He's got his usual playing style, box to box. They've not really changed anything, weaker foot or anything like that. Of course, he's got his face scan. So yeah, we've had a few versions of Reijnders by now, actually. I think the first one we have is a Player of the Month when he was at AZ in the Netherlands, and that was rubbish. Nowhere near as good as this, but since then we've had a couple of Player of the Week ones. One was a box to box. One was in a Champions League Player of the Week pack that was a whole player. Both of them have got slightly better passing than this one, but this one's much better at defending, and this one's also had the blocker skill thrown in, which is nice. They've also added first time shot, but blocker I think is the big addition. And they've only taken away, I think, Marseille turn and dipping shot to make room, which I think is a good trade. So yeah, blocker, good addition. The previous player of the week ones don't have that. I have a feeling his GP card used to have that. I'm not certain of that, but I think his GP card might have had blocker back in the day, and then they changed it maybe when he went to Milan. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. But we've got blocker now, though. That is a good addition. So yeah, 2 previous player of the weeks, kind of different profile, but this one's better at defending, just not quite as good at passing. In terms of trainable versions, to be honest, this one's comparable to the better ones, but what you find with the trainable ones, obviously you can train them, and you will find with auto allocation, or even if you just manually retrain them, they tend to be a bit better technically. You can make them a bit better on the ball. Certainly the passing you can make better as well. So depends on what you kind of want from a Reijnders card. If you want him to be better technically, then this might not be the best version for you. But if you want a more kind of well-rounded version, it's a bit stronger defensively, then this might be comparable to the better versions that we've had. It just depends on what you want from him really in terms of the attributes. Compared to his GP card and auto allocation, lost a couple of balance again. Lost a few points off low and lofted pass. So I've nerfed his passing from his GP card. That is really annoying. If you're a midfielder and you're getting into the player of the week, I mean, how is your passing worse than normal? Come on. Bit of a boost on his acceleration though, and his stamina as well. Big boost on his physicals. Big boost on his defensive attributes. Big boost on his finishing. So yeah, on the whole, good boost. It is one of the better versions of Reijnders statistically. Just very annoying that on any kind of defensive or centre midfielder, they've taken some points away from his low and lofted pass. It's very annoying, but we're at least still at the 85 mark on low pass. You'll get a +3 on your maximum game plan boost. So low pass will go to 88. That's pretty much the threshold for me for a midfielder. I think 85 is just about okay, even though I'd like it to be higher. He's all right on the ball. Attacking awareness, I think, should be higher on Reijnders. I think he's shown over the course of the season he deserves much higher attacking awareness. He's really good at making those runs into the box. Got a few goals this season. Defensively, they have boosted him a bit. It's still not brilliant. I'd like the tackling to reach 80 at least with the game plan boost, but he is better than he normally is defensively. And then over here, the pace is okay. Physical strength is all right. Would like a bit more balance. They've taken a couple of points away from that. Like I say, I don't know why. That's annoying. Stamina's good though. And then skill-wise, 1 touch and 3 passing, interception and blocker. You've got a good selection of skills there for a box-to-box centre mid or defensive mid. I think as a defensive midfielder, he's not quite strong enough defensively, even after the boost they've given him. But I think as an all-rounder, as kind of, maybe in a double pivot you can get away with that, but certainly as a centre midfielder, box-to-box, you've got some qualities there. He's all right on the ball, passing's all right, he's got the passing skills, he can do a bit of defensive work. Yeah, it's another card red, to be honest. Yeah, he's 94 rated. There's no booster there. I was just checking if there's a booster. Yeah, he's 94 rated, but honestly, is it a good card? Yeah, quite good. Is it an amazing one? No, I think it's another card where I'm looking at. I'm just saying, well, okay, he's all right. Loads of decent attributes, good selection of skills, but there's nothing amazing about this card. You know, if you really want a Reijnders card for your Netherlands squad or for your AC Milan squad, cool. It's a good version of him. For your Italian League Challenge, certainly is a very useful one to have if you need more options as a defensive mid or centre mid. But outside of that, if you're looking at your squad for divisions and so on, how good is he? I don't think he's going to get many people's squads, so not a bad card at all. It's a very solid one, but again, it's just not one that I think is particularly exciting. Really, it's good, but just not amazing. And now we do have our final booster, and this is a good looking card. So we have a Pedri card, booster. Of course, he's got his face scan. He's a box-to-box this time. So he's normally an orchestrator these days, but they're changing it to box-to-box. To be honest, when I watch Barca this season, he seems more like a box-to-box than an orchestrator. I don't really agree with the orchestrator playing style that they've got on him these days, but he's a box-to-box this time. And we have had quite a few Pedri cards in this game. We've had so many. Difficult to compare them to all of them, but this is one of the better versions of him. It's a good version of Pedri. It's just a question of what kind of profile you want on him, really. That's the thing with these Player of the Week cards. You can't retrain them. So it's a question of looking at the way the attributes are balanced. If he's not strong in the areas where you want it to be strong, then previous trainable versions might be better for you, depending to an extent on the playing style, because we've had orchestrator versions, we've had whole Player of the Week cards, we've had creative playmaker versions. I think the obvious comparison is if you compare him to his current nominating contract card, because the current nominating contract pack, I forget what it's called, but he is available for a 5-star contract. If you compare him to that one, obviously that one's an orchestrator. You can retrain the nominating contract one and make him almost identical to this one, except for the physical strength. You can't make him quite as physical strong. You could try and sort of shuffle some points around and make him as strong physically, but then you'd lose points from elsewhere. So yeah, on the whole, this one is a bit better than the nominating contract one, but you can retrain the nominating contract one if there's any one or two areas where you don't need the attributes to be as high as they are here, then you can make that nominating contract one comparable. Maybe the playing style will make a difference, I don't know. But yeah, on the whole, this one technically a bit better than the nominating contract one, but you can make the nominating contract one as good in a lot of ways, just not in every way. It just depends on what's important for you, like I say. If comparing to previous Player of the Week cards, Pedri, there have been quite a few. Generally speaking, previous Player of the Week versions of Pedri have a bit more attacking awareness and a bit more finishing than this one, but this one has a bit more speed than they normally do and a bit more passing than they normally do. So that's the real main difference compared to previous Player of the Week cards, and of course the playing style. But just looking at the numbers overall, this is one of the better ones. This is a good version of Pedri. So yeah, and if you look at the previous trainables, it's similar to the nominating contract one really. You can make previous trainable versions of Pedri comparable to this one in most areas. If you try and match it perfectly in every area, in a lot of cases you can't quite get there, but as long as you don't mind at least one area, maybe it's the physical strength or defending being lower than they are on this card, in other areas you can match this one, and in a lot of cases make them better. Certainly on the ball, there are trainables you can make better on the ball than this. So and with pace as well even. So yeah, you might have a version of Pedri with a playing style that you prefer that's trainable, in which case you've probably got a better card already. But if you don't have a good version of Pedri, and if you've got certain other versions of Pedri, then this might be an upgrade. Certainly if you want a box-to-box version, it is a good version of him. And that we might as well activate the booster. What have we got booster-wise? We've got, is that ball carrying or something? Ball protection, that's one of the new ones, isn't it? So we've got ball protection. So more physical contact than you normally get on Pedri. We've still got great balance like you normally do. Interestingly on the ball, so if you look at his GP card, they've actually nerfed his ball control and tight possession slightly. So his ball control and tight possession slightly lower than his GP card and auto allocation, unless he gets A4, and then it's slightly higher. So you get the points back. Passing's been nerfed a bit, but it's still high enough. That might be annoying for some people, but I think as long as it's still high enough, depends how you're going to use him really. But it's annoying, but I think understandable to an extent. They boosted his attack awareness and finishing a bit. It's still not particularly high though. Set pieces had a bit of a boost as well. Defending kind of been shuffled slightly, but it's on the whole pretty much the same. Right column, he's had a bit of a pretty nice boost all the way down this right column, to be honest. So yeah, like I say, depends what strengths you want from Pedri. If you want him as a winger, it might not be quick enough for you, but his speed is a bit higher than it tends to be in Player of the Week versions. If you like him making attacking runs, the fact that the attacking runs isn't as high as it can be on some versions of Pedri, and likewise the finishing, that might disappoint you, but he's still very good in ball, and even with the passing we know, but it's decent. It's still got very decent passing, unwavering form. Let's look at the skills. What have they done skill wise? They have taken away Marseille turn and sombrero, and they've thrown in interception and again fighting spirit. So yeah, I think that's a good trade, to be fair. Interception certainly makes him a lot more effective defensively in the middle of the park if you're going to use him as a centre mid box to box. I think most people with Pedri tend to use him as an attacking player, either wide on the left or as an attacking midfielder. Of course, you've got your passing seals, you've got heel trick and outside curler. You know what Pedri's all about. You get him on the ball, he can carry the ball really well, and he can pick a pass. So yeah, on the whole, you have one of the better versions of Pedri statistically. It just depends on what kind of, which attributes you would prioritise. If you want more finishing, a bit more attacking awareness, then this might not be the best version for you. But it does have more speed than he often does, certainly in Player of the Week. He's got a bit more physical strength than he normally does. He's got interception, which in the middle of the park is important. So yeah, depends what's important for you. The nominating contract one, I think most people probably would find the nominating contract one that's currently available is going to be a better one to have. But this one on the whole is statistically, I think, a little bit better on the whole. He's had an interesting boost, certainly down that right column. He's got the skills he usually does with interception thrown in. So there are plenty of reasons there why this could be a really nice version of Pedri for you to pick up. And if you don't already have a good version of Pedri, it's definitely a good version to pick up. Wide on the left, lovely on the ball, got end product. Not the quickest, but you don't really notice that with Pedri because he's so nice on the ball. And then through the middle, interception makes him more usable as a centre mid, albeit he's still defensively weak and physically weak. Attacking mid without an active playing style could be very nice, just that attacking awareness and the finishing a bit on the low side for me, but still great on the ball, can certainly pick a pass, so it could be very usable as an attacking mid without an active playing style. Likewise, left wing, left midfield, bear in mind he will have an active playing style. He will be a box to box as a left midfielder. It's an interesting playing style. They will do what you'd expect as a box to box, get up and down the pitch a lot. So yeah, you may or may not like that playing style if you play him as a left midfielder, but yeah, certainly on the whole, it's a good version of Pedri. It's just depending on what you like in terms of the playing style and which attributes you prioritize. You might have a better one, and you may well prefer the nominate contract version. But if you don't have a good version of him, and if you get this one, I can tell you, like most people in the player base will tell you, Pedri is a really nice one to have, and any good version of Pedri is a good card to pick up. So yeah, it's a good version of Pedri, that. And we finish up with only our second ever Player of the Week, Alisson Becker. So we had Alisson in a Player of the Week, Champions League Player of the Week pack not too long ago. And that was a pretty similar one to this, to be honest. The goalie attributes kind of shuffled around a little bit, but on the whole, very similar to this one. And yeah, we had quite a few trainable versions of Alisson as well. Most of them around this level. We've had a couple that are slightly better than this I think from Legend boxes. But this one's not far off. This is a good version of Alisson. Obviously he's got his face scan, he's attacking keeper, low punt, long throw, and he's very good. Awareness is going past 90 with the game plan boost, reflexes already at 90, reach again going past 90 with the game plan boost, catching and parrying not amazing but still pretty strong. This is a very good goalkeeper. If you don't have that many good goalkeeper options, certainly for the English League Challenge, it could be a really good one to pick up. And like I often say with these goalies and Player of the Week, you know, the kind of real beefy legend ones these days like Schmeichel and Czech and so on, the levels above these Player of the Week cards. But if you don't have one of those outside of those cards, in terms of the regular kind of Player of the Week and trainable ones you get from the legend boxes and so on, this is a very good goalkeeper. The most important goalie attributes, he's high, he's going past 90 with the game plan boost. Catching and parrying might not be great, but they're decent. Yeah, there's not a lot you need to say about this card. It's a Player of the Week Alisson card, and it's what you'd expect. It's a good one. It's a very good goalie card, that. So there is your Player of the Week selection. That's the regular Player of the Week selection. As I mentioned at the start, I'll be doing the Champions League Player of the Week one next. I'll get onto that straight away, so that should be live on the channel in the next few hours or so. This is a decent selection, I think. I think I'll just say what I usually say about Player of the Week. You've got a bunch of cards in there that are going to be decent for at least some people. I think Pedri and Alisson, two very good cards, of course. Maybe with Pedri, depending on playing style, depending on certain attributes, he might have a better version. There have been so many by now, but it is a good version of Pedri. Alisson, obviously a good goalie. Kolo and Muani, not amazing, but I think for a lot of people could be a decent striker. Reijnders, yeah, solid centre mid, just not amazing. De Vrij, solid centre back. Certainly are going to be a good centre back option for a lot of people, especially for the Italian League Challenge. Elanga, I think, is a pretty interesting one. I think a lot of people will be looking at that card thinking that'd be a decent one to pick up. Very useful card. Right wing, left wing, SS behind the attack. Could be very useful. Lewis-Skelly as a left back, questionable. As a defensive mid or centre mid, could be a useful one. Taylor, he's an alright centre mid, nothing amazing. Likewise Biereth, likewise Romero. Just not really amazing cards. Onuachu, if he's not a kind of striker, you're going to probably just release him straight away. But if you like that kind of striker, you're going to be putting a lot of crosses in. I think it could be a lot of fun for a lot of people. So, yeah, it's not an amazing selection on the whole, to be honest. But I think for quite a few people, there'll be a few decent cards in there. Player of the Week these days never tends to be that exciting. And certainly that's the case again with this one. But I think at least with Pedri, with Alisson, and arguably one or two of the other ones, I think Anthony Elanga certainly. There are a few cards in there that I think if you get them, you'll be very happy with them. So not an amazing selection, but there are a few decent ones in there. I'm not going to do my free spin for now because I'll be spinning on Monday. There's a legend pack coming with the greatest legend of them all, Jacob Murphy. So yeah, I'll be posting in the Discord and on the community tab when I figure out what time that's going to be. But most likely after lunch on Monday, I'll be doing all my spins and hopefully picking up Jacob Murphy and maybe one or two legends from that pack as well. But yeah, no free spin for now. But yeah, there's your Player of the Week, regular Player of the Week pack. And like I say, the Champions League Player of the Week pack will be coming up later today. So keep your eyes out for that. Cheers for watching this one. Let me know what you think of the pack. Let me know who you've spun. And I'll see you later today and then hopefully Monday for the pack opening stream. So yeah, take care of yourselves. Cheers for watching. I'll see you soon.